Chapter 3, Call me Aunt, understood? Ziyu, what's wrong? Bai Shuqin followed his gaze and saw Fu Siwang and Xu Yiyi walking in. Wow, I never thought my uncle would actually get married. I used to think he was gay, Bai Shuqin whispered gossip into Shen Ziyu's ear. I didn't expect my aunt to be such a beauty, but why does she look a bit familiar? Shen Ziyu was already sweating, his face pale, body stiff, unable to move. Bai Shuqin noticed something was off and asked with concern, Ziyu, are you feeling unwell? Shen Ziyu snapped back to reality and hurriedly said, I'll be right back, just need to use the restroom. He quickly left. In the restroom, Shen Ziyu frantically sent Xu Yiyi a message, demanding to know what was going on. But Xu Yiyi had no time to check her phone, as all of Fu's family members were greeting her. Old Madame Fu was warmly introducing her to everyone. My granddaughter-in-law here is Wang's trusted assistant, the secretary at Fu Corporation. This boy hid her well. If I hadn't pushed him, he would have kept her hidden longer. But now that I've seen him married, I'm relieved, especially with Yi by his side every day. I'm extremely satisfied with this marriage. Since old Madame Fu had spoken so highly, the others dared not criticize Xu Yi's lack of family background. They had all thought Fu Siwang would end up marrying a well-matched heiress, not just a mere secretary. But then again, even though she was just a secretary, she had the advantage of being close to him at work, making it easy for feelings to develop over time. However, they didn't have much faith in this marriage. They figured Fu Siwang might grow tired of her over time and discard her easily when the moment came. Uncle, Aunt. Bai Shuqin approached, politely greeting Fu Siwang and Xu Yiyi, then explained, Uncle, Ziyu isn't feeling well and just went to the restroom. Aunt, why didn't you and Uncle come to my wedding before? Ziyu is my husband. We got married 3 months ago. Bai Shuqin smiled sweetly at Xu Yiyi. Xu Yiyi's smile stiffened slightly. She had almost attended. After all, she received an invitation, and Shen Ziyu had asked her to go as his high school friend. But she didn't go. Watching the man she had dated for 7 years marry someone else was not something she could emotionally handle. At that time, work was busy, and Wang and I weren't planning to go public yet, so we didn't attend. We'll treat you two to dinner some other day. Xu Yiyi smiled in response. That sounds great. But it should be Ziyu and I treating Uncle and Aunt. Bai Shuqin smiled sweetly. It was obvious that Bai Shuqin was a sheltered, innocent young lady, pure and untainted by the harsh realities of life. She was young, delicate, and innocent. Xu Yiyi couldn't help but feel a pang of envy. Soon, everyone sat down to dinner. Shen Ziyu and Bai Shuqin sat together. Throughout the meal, Shen Ziyu was especially tense, frequently glancing at Xu Yiyi, fearing she might reveal their past relationship. But fortunately, Xu Yiyi said nothing. Still, Shen Ziyu's anxiety wouldn't ease. After dinner, he found an opportunity to catch Xu Yiyi alone in the garden. Xu Yiyi, what are you up to? Shen Ziyu urgently demanded, his face looking terrible, even in the dim night. Shen Ziyu, I didn't expect my new husband to be your wife's uncle, Xu Yiyi said, feigning innocence with a shrug. Today, she wore a Chanel-inspired dress, her tea-colored hair in soft waves, looking refined and elegant. She sat on a swing, gazing into the endless night, seemingly lost in thought or reflecting. Xu Yiyi, I don't care whether you knew or if you deliberately married Fu Siwang, but Xiaoqin and I are very happy now. We've been over for a long time, and Xiaoqin must never find out about our past. Shen Ziyu lowered his voice, issuing a threat. Xu Yiyi sneered, turning to him with a mocking glance. Shen Ziyu, aren't you disgusting? 3 months ago, when Shen Ziyu broke up with her and handed her the wedding invitation, he cried and begged for forgiveness. He said he had to find a woman who could help his career, and since Bai Shuqin had fallen for him first, he hid his existing relationship and started dating her. He worked hard, and the Bai family was satisfied with him, thus allowing him to marry Bai Shuqin. I used to feel guilty, thinking about how to make it up to you, but now I realize you've been involved with Fu Siwang all along. And you dare accuse me of cheating? Xu Yiyi retorted, now emboldened. Xu Yiyi ignored him, turned to leave, but Xu Yiyi grabbed her wrist. Remember, we'll act like we don't know each other. When Siwang dumps you, I might even help you out. Don't think you can relax just because you married him. To him, you're nothing but a plaything. Old Madame Fu pushed him into marrying you, and even then, he barely agreed. You didn't even get a proper wedding. What are you, really? Xu Yiyi was like a cornered animal, vicious and aggressive. Xu Yiyi looked at him indifferently, her voice calm and distant. The world of fame and fortune has completely eroded the man you once were. The moment Xu Yiyi said those words, the last bit of nostalgia and attachment Xu Yiyi had in her heart drifted away. The Xu Yiyi in front of her was no longer the man who once promised to shield her from the storms and protect her for life. Tell me, how long have you been with Siwang? Xu Yiyi's eyes were bloodshot, his face filled with fury, as if he had been betrayed. The question struck Xu Yiyi as utterly ridiculous. She shook off his hand and scoffed. That's none of your business. But from now on, as long as I remain Siwang's wife, every time you see me, you'll have to call me aunt, understand? Nephew-in-law. With that, Xu Yiyi started away in her high heels. Xu Yiyi, seething with rage, punched a tree trunk. Meanwhile, Siwang, not finding Xu Yiyi in the house, returned to the bedroom, assuming she had gone back. However, she wasn't there either. Just as he was about to head downstairs to look for her, he saw her walking up. Where were you? Siwang gently cupped her face with his hand. I was feeling a bit stuffed from all the food. Grandma kept giving me more, so I went for a walk in the garden, Xu Yiyi said sweetly, wrapping her arm around his. We're staying at the old house tonight. You go take a shower, Siwang said, his meaning clear. Xu Yiyi nodded and asked, do you need to see them off? They'll be fine. I'll be back soon, Siwang kissed her on the forehead before quickly heading downstairs. Xu Yiyi was always obedient around him. If he told her to go east, she wouldn't go west. She walked into the bedroom, took a shower, changed into a camisole nightgown, and lay on the bed, waiting for him to return. As the noise from outside slowly faded, footsteps soon approached the door. When Siwang entered, he removed his tie and headed straight for the bathroom. About 3 to 5 minutes later, he came out, climbed into bed, and pinned her beneath him.